Hello and welcome to Siebert Field on the campus of the University of Minnesota for today's Big Ten matchup between the Michigan State Spartans and the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Alongside Jason Ruttman, I'm Corbu Stathes. Thanks so much for spending part of your Friday afternoon with us. And Jason, a matchup of two teams trying to find their way more specifically for the Golden Gophers. A dismal start to their season, 3-12, and a team trying to get back on track in their first outdoor game at home this year.
Well, that's right. It's the Gophers' first game back at Siebert Field in 692 days. It's been a long break for them away from the field on campus, but they look sharp in warm-ups and they're ready to go. On the bump for them is Sam Ireland, the 6'4 sophomore from Highlands Ranch, Colorado, and he's been great this season.
And he'll face a Michigan State team coming in at 7-8, and a Michigan State team that perhaps riding a little bit of confidence after a victory last time out against Indiana, who tops the Big Ten.
That's absolutely right. Indiana is a tremendous team, and Michigan dropped the first two games. Michigan State dropped the first two games against them by scores of 8-2 and then 10-4. Then came roaring back last Sunday, won 5-1, and they're coming into this game hopeful that they can pick up a few more wins against the Gophers and get above the 500 mark.
You gave us a little preview of Sam Ireland. Tell us a little bit more about the starter for the Gophers today.
Well, Sam Ireland comes into this matchup rocking a 3.7 ERA in 24 and a third innings pitched. He's given up 9 earned runs, walked 9, and struck out 23. He is a player who throws extremely hard, generates a ton of torque, but when his opponents hit it, the ball goes pretty far. So against a very, very dangerous Michigan State lineup like we were going to see today, he's going to have to focus on keeping the ball low and painting the corners.
Trent Farquhar will lead things off for the Spartans. Farquhar coming in hitting .333 in 12 games and 33 appearances. Slugging at .394, also leads the squad with 12 walks and takes the first pitch in there for a strike. And we are underway on an absolutely gorgeous day in Minneapolis. 61 degrees. The wind, there is a lot of it. It's 25 miles an hour out of the south, blowing straight in right near right center field. And Farquhar hits it into the wind, and running over to make the catch on the run is Kelly for out number 1.
And that's a great look for the Gophers to start off the game. You're going to see a lot of fastballs from Sam Ireland today. That's his go-to pitch. Like I said earlier, he throws really hard. And the wind is going to help knock the ball down here. Anything that gets to the outfield is likely going to be able to be tracked down by one of the 3 men out there.
That'll bring up Bryce Kelly. The number 2 man takes off speed inside for ball 1. Bryce Kelly coming in at .364 with 14 runs scored, looking for his first home run of the year. Checked his swing on a pitch in the dirt, and the count moves to 2-0. Let's set the defense for you for the Golden Gophers. Wilhite, Bateman, Kelly from left to right in the outfield. Wassel, Elliott, Robbie, Sweeney from third to first in the infield. Stanky behind the plate, and Sam Ireland on the mound. Ireland now down in the count 3-0 to Kelly. Bryce Kelly's not somebody you want to put on first base. The speedster already with 78 swipes in his career. The 3-0 pitch, right down Broadway, strike 1. Kelly taking all the way. He is 6 of 7 in stolen bases this year. He is just too shy of breaking the record for stolen bases in her career at Michigan State. Ireland fought all the way back to fill the count at 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, the last 2 pitches out of the hand of Sam Ireland have been fastballs right down the middle of the plate. I'd expect to see him go to something off speed here.
And he goes hard, and he gets Kelly on the swing. It looked like Kelly was maybe thinking off speed as well. He was behind on that one. And there's 2 down for Sam Ireland. Good start for Sam Ireland. He's had a couple of tough luck losses this year. 0-2 with that sparkling 3.7 ERA. Joe Stewart, the center fielder today for the Spartans, takes an off-speed in there for a called strike. Stewart comes into today at .380, leads the squad, as do his 5 doubles and 2 home runs and 12 RBI. Hits this one right back to Ireland, and that'll do it for the first inning. A good start for the Gophers. 3 up, 3 down, and the Gophers come to the plate. When we come back, it's Big Ten baseball on BTN Plus. Gophers trailing 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the fourth. Robbie, Wassel, and Sweeney scheduled to hit for the maroon and gold. Green and white of Michigan State really riding the performance of Mason Erla. He has been outstanding early.
Absolutely. Through 3 complete innings. He's only at 36 pitches. Minnesota, if they want some success, it's probably not going to be against him. They're going to have to find it against the bullpen. And to do that, they're going to need to find a way to knock Erla out of the game.
Robbie trying to find some success against Erla for the second time. He does. An infield hit. It was a hit on the ground to Jeb, who was on the outfield grass when he made the play, but just too long of a throw. And so Robbie has his second hit of the ball game. Both of them have gone or found the glove of an infielder.
Zach Robbie, just so talented. You don't get up to a batting average of .435 without being able to get a few lucky infield hits like he has.
Well, that's the other thing, too. If you're the rest of the Gophers who are really struggling with their averages, Jack Wassel at the plate coming into today at .214. He's probably wondering why those aren't coming in, falling down for hits when he hits them. I mean, that's just the way it goes sometimes. Robbie, his first hit was hit well and off the glove of the first baseman, Vredenberg, and then that one was just a seeing eye single.
Baseball is not a game of fairness. That's one way to put it.
Wassel takes up high, 2-0. That is a fair statement, not to be too cheeky about it, but it is one of those games where you just feel like you could go out there, hit the ball hard 4 times. It might be laser beams right at somebody. And then the next day you might hit 4 numbers that just find the right spots. Swing and a miss by Wassel. Good pass at that one. Just couldn't quite catch up. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Wassel, redshirt senior, standing at 6'2", 205, from Geneva, Illinois. When he makes contact, the ball goes a long way. He has a ton of power.
4 runs driven in on the year. Swing and a miss. And the count evens up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. This is a good time to break out of any slump you have going. Wassel with that 1 home run. 3rd on the team. And the Gophers trailing 1-0 with their leadoff runner on. Here's the Erla delivery. Swung on a miss. Got Wassel to chase on the outside. And Wassel is down on strikes for the 2nd time today. The 5th strikeout of the ball game for Erla.
And it's frustrating for Wassel. He's such a talented hitter. He's had so much success throughout his career, especially last year, as we were hinting at earlier, and then comes into this season and just doesn't seem to have it at the plate. It's disappointing for him, and it's challenging for the team because he is the 3-hole hitter.
Ronald Sweeney at the plate in the number 4 spot in that Gopher lineup. Sweeney struck out looking his first plate appearance on a pitch that was outside, a little bit less outside than that one. That was ball 1. Sweeney, another one of those Gophers struggling at the plate, 176 on the year, but did have 5 RBI against Nebraska and played in 3 games against the Cornhuskers. That one rides inside, and 2-0. Erla was behind on the count to Wassel and came all the way back to strike him out. Now let's see if the Gophers can get something going against Erla. If you're Sweeney right now, 2-0, it's got to be the most delicious pitch right in the spot you want. Here it is, and it is fouled down the third base side and out of play. Pretty good pitch to hit. Sweeney just couldn't put it where he wanted it. 2 balls, 1 strike. Gophers trailing 1-0. The Spartans scoring in the top of the 3rd. Robbie, the only base runner for the Gophers today. He has 2 hits. He's the runner at first. That one up and in. 3 balls, 1 strike to Sweeney.
It would be great if Sweeney could draw a walk here, put a lot of pressure on Erla for really the first time this game. The Gophers have not threatened offensively too much, and especially with a dangerous hitter like Stanky on deck, putting 2 runners on could, change the momentum of this game significantly.
Quick throw over to first, and back with the dive is Robbie. And when you're an offense that is struggling, you want to find any momentum you can, anything to grab onto that will help jumpstart that offense. Robbie with the lead from first, and the pitch outside. Sweeney will head to first. That was really close to where he took a called strike 3.
The catcher, Chase Stanky.
And his first at bat, but he heads to first with the first walk of the ball game issued by Erla. And Stanky coming to the plate. Chase Stanky, 2:17 coming into today, grounded out to second to lead off the second inning. Now he's got 2 runners on base with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. Shortstop stated right behind second base. Line drive, and that will score at least 1. It gets into the corner. Walker over to play it. They're going to round third. Sweeney digging for home. The throw. Safe. It was close, but Sweeney got the hand in there, and the Gophers take a 2-1 lead on the RBI double by Stanky. We'll see if they give him a double or a triple, but he stands at third.
Actually, that was not a super smart play by Sotras at catcher because Sweeney slid in. He was safe, at least from our vantage point up here in the press box and also according to home plate umpire Mark Hutchinson. But instead of recognizing that Stanky was rounding second and heading to third, Sotras started jumping up and down in frustration. So now the Gophers have only 1 out and a runner at third.
And just foul down the third base side. Look out. As Knowles, the DH. It is a double. Advancing to third on the throw was Stanky. And now the Michigan State infield's going to come in with 1 out. Jeb and Farquhar playing near that infield dirt and grass line. And wrapped foul again down the left field line. Really looks like Knowles trying to punch the ball that direction. He's down in the count 0-2.
Well, when we were here during batting practice early before the game, the Gophers were doing some opposite field pull hitting drills, or push hitting, should I say. And they might be trying to use that here.
The 2-1 just misses outside, and it's 1-2. Excuse me, the 0-2 makes it 1-2. Gophers with 2 runs home, trying to increase their lead. Again towards the third base side, and the throw in the dirt. Bradenberg can't handle it. The Gophers get a run on the throwing error and a 2-run lead.
That was a brilliant play by Chase Stanky, a fantastic read. The ball's hit to third base, and he's a few steps off the bag. Instead of testing Iverson's arm at third and trying to run home, he recognizes he can get back on the bag and force a tough throw across the diamond to first base, and it pays off in 2 ways. There's an error at first, we get a runner on, and a run scores for the Golden Gophers.
And that gives them a 3-1 lead in the bottom of the 4th. And Gophers offense finding a little bit of traction, aided there by help from the Michigan State defense on the throwing error by Iverson. Pitch on the opening pitch to Kelly is called for a strike. Unearned run for the Gophers at the moment. Base hit here would turn it into an earned run. Kelly grounded out to first in his first plate appearance. Count now 1-1. Gophers making Erla work in this inning. Started with a Robbie base hit to deep short. After Wassel struck out, a walk by Sweeney, and then a 2 RBI double by Stanky. Came around to score on the throwing error. Pitch, line drive, that'll touch down for a base hit, and the Gophers offense is cruising now in the 4th inning. 3 runs home, and already their 3rd hit of the inning.
And this is some of the best team baseball that I've seen the Gophers playing offensively so far this year. Generally speaking, the Gophers get a lot of their runs via the long ball, and they haven't been great this year about pushing runners around the bases using balls that are hit into the field to play. But this inning, they've looked tremendous. Now they have only 1 out, runners threatening on 1st and 2nd, and a talented hitter in Zach Elliott standing in the right-handed batter's box.
Grounded out, hit one really sharply right back to Erla, his first plate appearance. Or, excuse me, he squared the bunt. Tried to get the base hit on the bunt, and then Sortes was there to throw him out.
The man on deck was the one who hit it back to Mason Erla. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see him. That would be Brett Bateman.
Pitch misses outside to Elliott. Count is 1-0. And go back to the point of Stanky advancing to 3rd after Sotris lost track of him. And that allowed Stanky to score on the throwing error by Iverson. Otherwise, he would have maybe advanced to 3rd. Here's the pitch off speed outside. 2-0 now to the 8th hitting Elliott.
Mason Erla has almost doubled his pitch count this inning.
He was cruising through the first couple. Had given up just 1 hit through the first 3. And that was the only batter over the minimum he had faced. Now he's got runners at 1st and 2nd with 1 out, and he's behind in the count. 3 balls, no strikes. I think you know what Zach Elliott's doing here. I think he's got to take sign the size of U.S. Bank Stadium.
I would agree with that. Putting runners on all 3 bags with a very speedy hitter in Brett Bateman, who's also great with contact up. It's a recipe for success.
Erla does find the zone. It is 3-1. Gophers looking for just their 4th win of the year, 3-12 on the season. Michigan State at 7-8 coming into today's game. Erla with a peek and brings it home. Swing and a miss. Getting a little bit off speed, going to off speed at 3-1. Got Elliott out in front. The count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner at 2nd is Knowles. He reached on a throwing error. And Kelly with a base hit on a line drive to left field is your runner at 1st. Here it comes. Outside ball 4. Bases are juiced. And now Bateman will come to the plate. Brett Bateman, the freshman, with a bases loaded opportunity, and the Gophers leading 3-1.
I'm a little surprised that Michigan State isn't going to use a mound visit here. Maybe just discuss some strategy, decide if they want to bring infield in, see if they can throw home in the event of a ground ball, and then try and turn a double play to 1st.
Looks like they'll go for 2 up the middle with the corners in for Bateman. And outside, Erla behind in the count. Jeb and Farquhar, the middle infielder, shortstop in 2nd. Playing double play depth up the middle. At the corner, it's Iverson at 3rd, Vredenberg at 1st, and now we get the mound visit. Way to look into the future there. Mark Vandermeed will come out to chat with Mason Erla. Well, Erla was cruising, as we said, through the first 3, and then Robbie led off the 4th with a base hit. Wassel struck out, and then the rest of the Gophers have reached a walk, a double, an error, a single, and another walk.
Yeah, well, a little bit of good luck, a little bit of skill for Minnesota, and that's all they needed to get the ball rolling. They fall behind early, and as the home team, that's never something that you want to see, especially a home team with a record coming into this game of 3-12. So they prevent any further damage in the top of the 3rd when the Spartans scored 1. And this inning, they've just been rolling. 3 on the board, 3 on the bases right now, and still only 1 out.
Erla against Illinois earlier this year went 7 innings, allowed just 4 hits, walked 2, struck out 8. in an 11-0 win, and that looks to be the same pace he was on here early. However, in his last start against Indiana, he went just 5 2/3, gave up 8 runs, 4 of which were earned, so only struck out 2, and it seems like he has regressed to that form here in the 4th. Facing Bateman, the second pitch, misses outside at 2-0. After the mound visit, Erla missing in the same spot as he missed for ball 1.
You can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to kind of put the ball in that corner where home plate umpire Mark Hutchinson has been calling the strikes as this ball is shot foul down the third baseline. But it looks like he's a little bit outside for it, and Hutchinson probably is recognizing that his zone may have been a little too big to start the game, and he's shrinking it a little, which is going to make both teams upset.
When you're around the zone, you tend to get a little bit more leeway from the home plate umpire, and Erla has been a little bit more wild in this 4th. 3 runs already home for the Gophers. The 2-1 pitch fouled straight back, and the count evens at 2 balls, 2 strikes, and just like that, Erla's feeling a little bit better. Still with only 1 out, but a ground ball here, and you have a chance to get out of the inning. Bateman hit a shot right back at Erla in his first at-bat. Erla was able to throw him out at first. 2-2. Outside, the count runs full, nowhere to put him. Bases full of Gophers. Knowles at third, Kelly at second, Elliott at first.
Love the camaraderie by the Gophers dugout. You heard a very audible, yes chant when he took that pitch outside and maybe a little bit high.
Not a lot of crowd on hand. You got to do the cheering yourself. 3-2 pitch. Hit on the ground. Could be 2. Farquhar charging over to short for 1. That's all they'll get. A run comes home. And the Gophers put their 4th run across for a 4-1 lead. That one maybe not hit hard enough for Farquhar to turn it.
Probably not, and Bateman, as a center fielder, has a lot of speed, especially coming out of the box, and he turned the Jets on, made it to first. Throw didn't even come.
Knowles scores. Kelly advances to third for the Gophers. And the 9th man to bat in the inning will come to the plate. Andrew Wilhite trying to extend this one for the Gophers. Already with 4 runs home.
Wilhite so far this game struck out in the first, then grounded out to first base unassisted in the 3rd inning.
Fouls this one straight back. And he's down in the count 0-1. Erla has not been ahead of too many batters in this inning. I don't think it's any coincidence then that the Gophers were able to find some success. Couple of walks in this inning for Erla. Gophers have pounded out some hits. 3 hits in this inning. And 1 error by the Spartans aided. And this one lifted in the air down the left field line, and the wind will push that one foul. Good distance there. Boy, that had a home run distance. And again, if there's no wind, we could be talking about a 3-run homer there.
Absolutely, and it looks like the wind may even be starting to die down a little bit as you take a look at the flag, and just about straightaway center field, it's kind of flapping a little bit more, less rigid in its position than it was a few innings ago.
Yeah, it looked like it was made out of a piece of cardboard earlier, just straight out and not a lot of flapping. And the runner goes, and he'll reach second base safely. Bateman taking off and getting to second.
Smart call by Coach Anderson there. See if you can coax Sotris into a throw and try and send Kelly home from third.
Sotris did not bite on it, and not sure if they'll just give it to him on a defensive indifference. No, they will say stolen base for Bateman. His first stolen base of the year, and so that puts runners at second and third. 1-2, and 2 outs. Strike 3. Down goes Wilhite, but not before the Gophers put up 4 to take a 4-1 lead heading to the 5th. It's Big Ten Baseball on BTN+.